Greetings. This is the Get To Free Press, and believe me, I was not going to cut this video, but I just watched a white individual on Facebook, and I watched him in its entirety. I watched the video, and he was against Donald Trump. He just laid it out about the 4th of July celebration, and I want to leave you all by saying this. We had better wake up. To you black people who think that all white people are racist, no good, want to see the destruction of America, hiding behind the white supremacist movement, don't you believe that? Not all white people are evil. Not all white people can even be put into the same bag. And so I often wonder. Sometimes I talk to my black brothers and sisters, and they see all white people as evil because of what they are doing, how they've tricked us, both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. But I'm going to leave this with you as I close. I was getting ready to turn in for the evening. But after I saw this white individual, you probably seen him before, I didn't catch his name. He'd done other videos. And there are other white people who are doing videos because they want you to know that there is something wrong in America. But don't just blame it on white people, because all white people are not down with this crazy death syndrome that we see in our world. Y'all have a nice day, and let me sum it up before I leave. Not all white people are evil. You'll find one every now and then, but you don't find many of them. No, you won't find many of them. Because when a white person refuses to stand up for what is right, because they fear their own people, they know how wicked other white peoples are. A black man, black woman, and black children. Don't you become like others. Don't even let that satanic spirit cause you to hate another child of God simply because he live in a white house of skin and not a black house like you. Help spread love, man. Even when they hate you. Because in the end, truth, right, and justice gonna win. Bye-bye. We gone. Greetings. I'm George Boston Rhynes from Valdosta, Georgia. I retired here in 1991. And I'm asking you who don't know much about the work that I've done in this area. Since 1975, I ask you to Google kvci.blogspot.com. That's kvci.blogspot.com. And introduce yourself to George Boston Rhynes. I do not speak as most of your other black human beings. I fell one day on my way to the bus station, and I was never the same again. I fell in love with you, my people, And I fell in love with you in a whole new light. I used to play the games of traditional religion. Religion, to me, after my fall, means or equal to refried beans. And I'm here to tell you that I do not like refried beans. I like fresh beans. And so this is why I don't like religion. I used to love religion because I didn't know what religion means. But when I did my research, I found out that what I had been given in the church out of great love from black people who was taught by their former slave masters. I believed everything that had been given to me. But on my way to the bus station one day, I fell. And I fell into the book of G.B.R. I fell into the book of the lost books of the Bible. I fell into the books of the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 books of Moses. I fell into the book of the Quran. I fell into the book of the Gita among the Indians from India. I fell in the book of the lost books of the Bible and the forgotten books of Eden. I fell into the book of the wars of God. I fell into the book of Jasher and Ecclesiasticus and the book of Tobit and the book of Levi and Message to the Black Man, J.A. Rogers, the five black presidents, from Superman to Man, the Green Book by Muammar Gaddafi, the Third Universal Theory, the book called The Book of the Beginning. Yeah, that's a heavy book. The Book of the Beginning. And so, what you mean you fail, bro, Ryan? You see, when I was coming up, they told me that everything I needed was in the Bible. And everything else was satanic. So I fell from where they had me incarcerated and indoctrinated and damn right in prison. So when I started thinking outside of the box, I offended a lot of people, including some of my family members. But as I kept studying, asking questions, went and sat among the Jews, Ashkenazi Jews or white Jews I may add, because the black man of Ethiopia are the original Jews. They know this, but they won't tell you that. And they also know that the people who are occupying the state of Israel today are not the people that God intended to occupy that land. And it's going to be changed. You can believe it or let it alone. Somebody must tell the truth during the last days of the reign of the wicked. Now, I wish I had time to really talk to you all like I want to. This is why sometimes I get lost and can't stop once I get started. But I did not know until after I fell on my way to the bus station why they call white people Caucasians. And if you ask the average white person here in America why they are called Caucasians, most of them can't tell you. But see, after I fell on my way to the bus station, fell out of this refried bean box called religion, and began to educate myself beyond what was given to me by my black pastors who had been taught by their former slave masters, and that had been passed down to black people from generation to generation. That religion made the Christians in America scared as hell of white people. First of all, to get you scared, to get you feeling inferior, they had to plant the image of a white Jesus in your psychic. You had to believe that the white man was right and that the black man was inferior and that he was a second-class citizen. You can say you don't believe it, but deep down, if you're a black person, you know that you felt inferior. Now, you can say you don't, but that's okay. You can say you don't. But I'm from Brooks County, and my grandmama taught me how to stand up at an early age. But I found out when I first went in the military, I really didn't feel good as good as white people, because white people were brought up looking at Andy Griffin's show. All white people. Perry Mason, except for the couple of blacks, all white people. All the show was all white. 26 Men, Days of Our Lives, The Edge of Night, Tombstone Territory, 26 Men, Popeye, Pluto. Everybody was white. All your cartoons was white back then. And they're almost white now. So you couldn't help from wanting to be white if you had any sense. Most white people own everything. In the South, anyway, Brooks County. More land, beautiful houses. And so, but when I fell on my way to the bus station, I said to myself, what a beautiful world out here to behold. So what did you see, Bro Rhynes? I saw that Negro, you know, they used to call us Negroes and colored. I looked into the book to find out that, first of all, that white European, when he came to power, he changed the names of everything. Yeah, the ancient names of the Atlantic Ocean. That ain't the original name of the Atlantic Ocean. From Africa, they call it the Ethiopian Sea. Educate your teachers about that. Google it. The Ethiopian Ocean. That was before the European came to power. Brother Rhynes, how do you know these things? My bishop, John F. Donaldson, taught us that the devil can read, the devil can write, the devil can preach, the devil can prophesy and prophesy. But there's one thing the devil cannot get, and that's the mysteries of God. If you fast and if you pray, and not so much that, but if you seek to live right, God will bestow wisdom upon you. When you read the Bible, you will not only read the letter, but God will magnify what is written in the Holy Quran and take you to another level. This is something that wicked people, I don't care about them being in a mega church, they can't hold a candle to. The people that God called, chosen, and elected to be his divine vicegerent, even at this dispensation, they can't handle him or her. This is what religion means to me. Before there was a Jesus, before we could get him. Before denominations, our ancestors, black ancestors, was already dealing in the spirit world. They didn't look at or have to sign something called this is denomination. They believed in a divine spiritual force or being, regardless of what you want to call it. You see, Jesus stepped out on the scene less than 2,000-3,000 years ago. The black man, according to my studies, have been on this planet for millions of years. Millions. So what did man worship before Jesus ever rode into Jerusalem on the back of an ass? Now it's not deep. You may think it's deep. It's not deep. If you would only pick up the books they told you not to read. From a child, when they tell me not to do something, that was the first thing I did. Some of them I learned the hard way not to do it no more. But at least I knew. I knew. So Ryan, what you mean? I read in the lost books of the Bible and the forgotten books of Eden. Now, I don't recommend that book for everybody because some of y'all can't even deal with it. I used to fast 3 days and 3 nights before I started reading that book because I was so tender in my concept of religion and comprehension outside of the box of incarceration in terms of what they had indoctrinated me to believe all my life, that's from a child up. According to the lost books of the Bible, I don't used to speak from this, but now Satan is so strong today, he's making people believe a lie quicker than they'll believe the truth. So now we have to go behind the veil, bring out what they thought they had hid from you. God, according to the lost book of the Bible, gave the European white man 6,000 years to reign. I can prove that. I didn't write the book. 6,000 years. Well, Brother Rhynes, what you mean 6,000 years? If you remember the creation story in the book of Genesis, they say from Adam to the year 2000 is approximately 6,000 years. Correct me where I'm wrong, if you can. But if you can't, then keep on studying beyond me and then come back and teach me something so I will not remain in a state of ignorance. I studied the white Christian identity group teachings. What do they teach, Brother Rhynes, and how do you know? Their book says that the black man is the original man on the planet Earth. The white Christian identity group go further to say that we are the people that are known as the pre-Adamites. Y'all, I'm not speaking from no script. God stamped this on my heart and sealed it in my brain as the pre-Adamites. Now, if you never heard of the pre-Adamites, do your own research. Don't take my word for nothing that you hear me say. Nothing. Because you don't have to today. You see, back in the day, when we first heard about the lost books of the Bible, common sense should have said something to us. Why do they say they are the lost books of the Bible when they call them the lost books? If they are the lost books, how in heaven did they know about them? Think about it now. See, this is how the devil trick you. This is how you end up in a cult, like with Jim Jones and Ronnie Dennis, which you all need to get Google, Pastor Ronnie Dennis in Hinesville, Georgia. They say he was worse than Jim Jones. And that is yet being unfolded. So Jim Jones seduced a lot of people probably because he had read some of the books that they don't want you to read. So when I picked up the book about the white supremacists, no, let me keep it right, the white Christian identity group, you can get the book too. And you can read it for yourself and fast and pray so you won't end up hating white folk like they hate you. You see, you can't render hate for hate and God still keep revealing his mysteries to you. When you start hating, God cuts you off. You can't pick it up no more. God don't reveal it to you anymore. When you bow down to the hate of the white man and Uncle Tom's and Aunt Jane's who don't mean human beings and life sources no good. So the white supremacist group says, no, I keep saying that. The Christian identity group keeps saying that we are the original man and that we are from the group of people that God threw out of heaven, the pre-Adamites. Pre mean before. That means before Adam and Eve, we were here. Now, if this is true, I don't know who wrote the Bible. And if this is true, white people seem to have this truth. Why did they take it out of the Bible? Why did they have to put it in the lost books of the Bible? Why did they have to put this in some other books? Oh, by the way, the Apocrypha. Pick up the Apocrypha. It was in the 1611 book, Bible. Pick these books up, man. They've done a game on us. This is why we act so narrow-minded. But when you find the truth, Isaiah 35:8 says, a highway shall be there, and a way, and it will be for those, the wayfaring men. No ravenous beast shall walk on that road. So if you're down south and you travel I-75 and you think you're doing something, that's not your highway. If you're going out to California and you take Highway 10, Interstate 10, you ride it, but that's not your highway. Black man, black woman, and black children, God gave you another highway. God gave you Isaiah 35:8. That's your highway. That's where you reach your destination. Check it out. Read it, since that's your highway. Washington, D.C., black man. That's not your highway. City. Washington, D.C. don't belong. That's not your capital. Your capital is in the book of Revelations. The Bible tells you that there would be another city. And in your city, my beautiful brothers and sisters, 12 gates give you access to the city. The streets are paved with gold in your city. And here again, no ravenous beast will be in your city until you reach the real city that belongs to you as God created beings. You should not feel comfortable traveling I-75 or Interstate 10. Walk, black man, in the beauty of what God so ordained and destined you to be. Your children are not like other children. That's why your children are attacked. That's why your children are being shot down on the street by police officers who carries what they call the shield of David, which is supposed to represent the up and down, square and compass, represent peace. But today they are everything but peace. And if they stood up by the shield on their car, they would have God in the center, and they would act righteously upon all of God's children, black and white, Jew and Gentile, Protestant and Catholic, Palestinians and Israeli. God, I'm not talking about your fake God. I'm not talking about your fake Jesus. I'm talking about the true and the living God. I'm talking about the Jesus that the church pushed out of the church. And they instilled a satanic Jesus. They implanted a wicked God who will value an airplane more than human life, who value their banking account more than senior citizens, who focus on continuously putting you on drugs and never curing your diseases. And you keep falling into the trap. They keep giving you medicine because they benefiting getting to be multi-billionaires by putting you on medication. And you are therefore on the new modern day plantation. With chains on your ankles, chains on your arms, chains on your around your neck. You can't even see that you're a slave. And we who have eyes to see, we are despised and we are rejected. We are called everything but a child of God. We who have been touched on the highway of holiness, as declared in Isaiah 35:8. You pay a price for walking that highway. Religious leaders will call you satanic because you are not what they are. And they know that the book says, come from among them and be ye separated. What does clean have to do with that which is unclean? And so the pastors in the church, the imams in Islam, the priests and others, they all profess to know the God of creation. But how can it be that we have more preachers today than ever before in the history of this nation? We have more churches in your community than we ever had before. And we have more hate, more racist politicians, more racist pastors and bishops than we ever had before. Something is wrong. And most of us don't even know it because we are blind. Leaders of the blind. Many of you was called to do a job, just like I was called. But you was too scared. You were scared that somebody would kill you. You was too afraid that somebody would mess up your career in the military. Some of you knew that God called you to do a job. But look, if we who are called, chosen, and elected refuse to do what God called us to do, then we see why our communities are in the hellhole that is in. And we got to stop blaming our children. Jesus said in the red writing in the Bible, what father is it? And if you properly understand it, what mother is it that would refuse to give good instructions unto their child or children? If you know, mothers, that you went out of your house half dressed, half naked, and you saw the mistakes that you made, you let all the men rammed up into your city and got you pregnant. You produced babies that every time you look at that baby and the father that walked away from that baby, when you look at that baby, you think of that no good man and it puts you in pain. A lot of women allowed men to come into their bedroom and he didn't stay long enough. And you got the baby and you got memories of that man that are ugly And when you look at that child, you think about that ugly man that walked away from his responsibility and he tricked you in the bedroom. And then he got the hell out the room and you ain't seen him since. So mothers, why do you let your daughter walk around half dressed? Why do you let men sit in her lap? Your daughter get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for sure. Ain't got no business with no man sitting in their lap. Get them men out your daughter's lap. And because the world has gotten so crooked, get them men out of your son's lap. Because some of them is gay too. That's the world we're living in today. Somebody got to tell the truth. And watch how you trust your sons around the church with the pastor. At least you find out that your son is now your daughter. Men folk abusing your own daughter, your own nieces, nephews. Then when they turn gay, you say, what in hell is wrong with them? No, what in hell is wrong with you when you mess with them? And they despise you and everybody that look like you. Women messing with their sons. Men don't want to have nothing to do with a woman because of what their mama or their niece or their auntie did to them when they were too young to stand up and defend that way of Satan. Y'all excuse me. I didn't start out on this subject. I didn't start out like this. I wanted to give y'all a biblical, spiritual message. Look, y'all, I think I'm going to leave y'all. Y'all have a nice day. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I don't know. I just love you, man. I don't know. I look out into the world and I watch all these preachers today. I listen to them sometimes. I sat this morning, I was watching the TV programs and I didn't hear nothing that would help me. I didn't see nothing that would help my people. They all talking about prosperity. They all talking about how God can bless you and how God loves you. I don't want to hear a damn thing about how God loves me. I don't need you to even tell me that. That make me sick. When I hear a preacher tell me God loves me, that make me sick. I don't even like to hear that. I already know that. You don't have to tell me what I already know. Don't put me back in kindergarten. Don't put me in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 12th grade. Don't do that to me. It's an insult. Don't tell me what I already. Tell me something that I don't know. God is good. I know God good. The question is, are you good to me? That's the question. Are we good to one another? Then you are saying something. When I see you love me like I love you. When you love me as you love your neighbor. When you're willing to die and give up your life for the righteous and the not so righteous. Then you are telling me that God loves me. For if you say you are saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, and fire baptized, and you scared as hell, you don't know nothing about God, not my God. You know all about that fake God. You know about that fake Jesus. You know about him. But the real God don't have no cowards in his program. No, he don't have no cowards in his program. That's how I can tell a real pastor that is sent from God to do the works of God. A pastor or a deacon or a bishop or a priest, when they are sent from God, they are here to help the people. Not just how to get to heaven, but how to get from one side of town to the other side of town, from get to unemployment to employment, to get from no empowerment to empowerment, to get from the ghetto into the suburbs, and from the suburbs into a life that they really can help somebody else. That's the kind of preacher. That's the kind of teacher that I will listen to. But all I can see from you is you sitting in your big church. And then when you meet me on the street, you look down on me, but you want me saved in your church when I come on Sunday morning. But what about Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday? What about that? Some of you, not all of you, some of you pay $4,000, $5,000 a month in tithing and free will offering and benevolence offering, but won't give a damn Y'all excuse me. A dam ain't nothing but so much water in it. But you won't give a dime to your own mother who can't even pay her light bill. You tell her she should have made it on her own. What if she'd have told you that when you was in her womb trying to get out? Let him make it on his own. I ain't gonna eat nothing. I'm not gonna abstain from Molly. I'm not gonna abstain from alcohol. I'm not gonna stop doing marijuana. Let him make it on his own. Your mama cared enough not to abort you. You ought to be thankful for that. Wake up, people. I want y'all to get out of these sick denominations. I want you to think outside of the box so you can help save life. Stop just wanting to go to heaven and living in the hereafter. Don't you remember they told us Jesus is coming real soon? My grandmother died around 77, 80, 90 years old. Now I'm 67 and he ain't come yet. But I can tell you one thing came. My light bill came. My water bill came. My car payment came. My electric bill, my cable bill came. And I had to pay them. So why don't you teach your children to get an education before they get to heaven? Some people got their little children in Sunday school, Bible study at night when they ought to be home getting their homework. And they talking about they doing the will of God. Then when they come home with F's, they get angry with them. Wait a minute. I'm not criticizing them. Because see, I used to do that too. Until I failed on my way to the bus station. And when I failed, my pastor, I won't call him denomination, they didn't like it when I woke up. I told them, you either let these children out at the appropriate time or my children won't be coming. They didn't change. And since they didn't change, I had to change. And all of my children was doing excellent in school. But a lot of them did not, because they stayed doing things that didn't really make sense. Y'all have a nice day. May God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. I talk like this because I love you just that much. Here's a beautiful sister here in a car. What's up, my baby?
How you doing?
Fine. What's up?
I was looking. They say 5 o'clock service.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought it was 6. I thought it was 5.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm out here on Facebook just talking. You want to say something? You don't?
Just tell everybody be blessed.
All right. This young lady told me to tell everybody to be blessed. Thank you very much, my beautiful sister. God bless you, baby. All right. Yeah, she's coming to go to church here at Serenity. I always have time for people because that's the flavor of my nature and the nature of my flavor. Y'all take care and have a nice day. May God bless you. When I have people to come in the parking lot, I guess it's time for me to leave. Y'all have a nice day. I love you. And I leave this with you. If you are depressed and you don't think you can get out of the box that you're in, read the 92nd Psalms. Down about 5 chapters, that's all. And I will assure you, you don't believe it, put it to the test. Read it 7 times a day. The 92nd Psalms. And all you have to do is just trust and believe in the God of creation. You'll be okay. You'll be okay, man. But whatever you do, don't even contemplate suicide. Let that be so far from you until you say, before I do acts that silly, I'm going to find Brother Rhynes. I have to go to Timbuktu. Y'all have a nice day. Bye-bye. We go. Love you. Greetings. I'm George Boston Rhynes, and I'm in Valdosta, Georgia. And for nearly 3 years now, I have been doing what no other religious leader, politician, member of law enforcement, common everyday citizen, active duty disabled, retired military veteran, or parent of a retired military veteran not even the ones that have lost their children on foreign battlefields, will say anything about the dilemma that we have here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia. Now, I'm going to be brief this morning. I had to take care of some business this morning, filing paperwork to try to get into the courtroom on July the 15th in the Kendrick Johnson accident or murder case. And as I was walking from the courtroom, I noticed that after all these many years, I have been talking about trying to get our elected officials here in Valdosta and Lowndes County to do what all other cities have done in terms of flying a Georgia state flag to honor the members of our armed forces, especially those who put their life on the line for this country. Now, in this courtroom today, they have a court case because I see the sign outside. We have high elected senior judges here in the city of Valdosta, Lowndes County, in the state of Georgia, and in the United States of America. These lawyers and judges come here to do what must be done in order to carry on our form of government. But do you see a Georgia state flag? Do you see one? Now, if we elect officials in the city and county governments, do you think that this is honorable to the men and women now stationed at Moody Air Force Base, just a few miles away from the metro city of Valdosta, also known as Titletown, USA? Now, I know there is nobody in Valdosta that are concerned about honoring your children, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. No newspaper, no television station, no radio station in the metro city of Valdosta, Georgia will even say anything about it. If you go to Adel, if you go to Quitman, if you go to Bainbridge, over the courthouse and City Hall, in the annexes, you will see a Georgia state flag. So what are our black and white right elected officials trying to say to us? What do they want you to know by them not flying a flag to represent those people that put their life on the line for this country? That's a question. Do they care about you and your children? And if they do not care about you and your children, why do you keep encouraging your children to go fight in the wars of a nation that will not even fly a flag to honor those who even put their life on the line in the case of natural disasters? The governor of the state of Georgia, Brian P. Kemp, will send out a decree for the National Guard and Reserve Forces to meet you in cases of a tornado or some explosion. But these elected officials and the good citizens of Valdosta cannot even appreciate the people now stationed at Moody Air Force Base. And if President Trump give the order to go into a foreign nation, your sons and your daughters will voluntarily put their life on the line to defend this country against both foreign and domestic enemies. So we must ask a question here in Valdosta and Lowndes County. The people that we voted into office, are they our enemies? If not, why don't they honor the people that are willing to do what I did for over 20 years? during the Vietnam era. Put your life on the line. I'm going to close this out now. I will say to you, who cares? Who cares anymore? I'm not the only person in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and in the United States of America that should be concerned. All they have to do is put up the flag. And let me go one step further. It's not just the courthouse. They finally put one up over City Hall where Mayor John Gale and the elected officials, both black and white, sat, said, and did nothing. They got one flying over City Hall now because I have been asking for 3 years, but there's still not one on the city annex, the Lowndes County Museum, the public library, the recreation facility over there. They got a United States flag, but they won't put up that Georgia state flag to honor the people that serve in the state of Georgia. Go to Florida, go to Alabama, Mississippi, Omaha, Nebraska. I've done this. They fly their state flag, but there's something wrong in Valdosta, seriously wrong. And when somebody have enough love and respect for your children to talk about it, these black and white elected officials, black and white, I'm not talking about white folk. I'm not talking about white folk, I'm talking about black and white folk. They will not even put up a flag. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the VA clinic here in Valdosta where veterans who are 100% disabled, they don't even fly a flag over the clinic. Go to Gainesville, Florida, VA hospital. Go to Lake City, VA hospital, and you will find a state flag. But once again, I've been telling y'all, there is something seriously wrong here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia. And before it's over, by the grace of the God of my ancestors, it all gonna be known. Y'all have a nice day. Don't blame me for it, y'all. Don't be mad with me because I'm speaking the truth. Don't be mad with me. Get mad with your pastor. Get mad with your politician that you voted into office. Get mad with your members of law enforcement. Get mad with your lawyer you got on retainer. Get mad with the judges that sit under the Southern Judicial Circuit. Get mad with the Georgia Bar Association. Get mad with the Secretary of State, not Secretary of State, the District Attorney, Georgia Attorney General. But don't get mad with me. I'm only asking these people to honor your children. Do your children deserve any respect? Or maybe not. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe your children don't need no respect. Maybe you don't care about your children. And maybe you don't care about the laws that we have in place. Y'all have a nice day. I'm gone.